What up, game devs? Welcome back to my devlog. It has been several months since my last update. Sorry for the delay. I know you guys are like really wondering what happened to me. Don't worry. I released 2 new games on Steam, Dot Hop and Dino. As I'm talking, hopefully I'm showing nice footage from each of them, here and here perhaps. I don't know. They're okay. You might like them. Anyway, nobody asked, but I thought today we'd talk about journals. Get ideas, write them down. It's a little bit easier to draw things than it is to make a whole game. So I got a whole bunch of journals. We're gonna go through all of them today. Stick around. Thank you guys for noticing my new poncho. It belongs to Dua, but she's not here right now, so oh shit, she's back. So, game journals. What are we talking about? My main game journal is the big one, and it has a couple key features, my favorite of which is the index. Number every page, and then you just, at some point later, you come back and you fill this thing in. You can see there's a lot of blank lines in here. The pages are getting filled in. Some of them are still empty. Others have, some ideas on them. There's a lot of doodles. So what you do is you come in here while you're watching a movie or something and you fill it in, or maybe you're scheduling out a couple game jams or something, or you have some ideas for mechanics for Plugs McGee. You doodle it all in, and then later you fill in the index as a way of sort of thinking through the ideas you already had. So those are the big ones. Then we've got these smaller guys. This is, I should actually know the sizes on these things, but whatever. It's this big. And I've been filling these in almost, journal or a diary since, for about 10 or 12 years now, lots of words. It's just a thing to write in if you need like a quick to-do list, or you want to just get some stuff off your brain, or if you really want to like fill in some of this stuff, And the last one I found relatively recently. This is a Hobonichi Techo Weekly from Japan or something. I don't know. I found people talking about it online. I actually filled in 2 of these last year for Dungeon 23. I should share more about that, but there's just so much, and this is already a scattered devlog, so we'll just say, look, you can have ideas and some free space on the one side, and on the other you get your weeklies. So you can see here it was important to make note of me playing Tears of the Kingdom. Thank God I wrote that down, right? So those are the big 3 notebooks. I wanted to mention each of them specifically, but we'll dig further into them. So here I'm opening my first large games journal. On the first page I did a big Metroidvania map, and then I tried to throw an idea into each room or hallway. I really like the idea of like accumulating these things. I didn't do that all at once. It was over many times I sat down and filled stuff in. And then here we see the index. So at the very back there's an index with a listing for every page and what's on that page. And in this notebook, this is at the end because I didn't think about indexing until I had already filled all the pages in. But in my second notebook, I put the index at the front. And with the pages numbers, it's really easy to sort of get around and see what all is in here. I really like connecting all the ideas. Like writing out the index is a whole process on its own. There we see Plugs McGee at C, one of my favorite little ideas. But yeah, the whole thing is like, you don't know what's going to go on these pages. You just want to create the space to record all of your ideas. Yeah, so then games journal number 2 is the one I'm on now. It's getting filled in. I think it's really nice to have ceremony around these things if possible. You can see there's a lot of blank lines in the index for the second one. I'm still filling it in. Yeah, here's a bullet hell brainstorm. One of my silly ideas where you're a bullet hell while fishing. Maybe we'll get a prototype for that someday. Yeah, in some of the older journals, it's just a space to fill in and figure out some patterns. We see some weird old line art. This little pattern here with all the lines, I call some more of this shit. Yeah, here's that first Metroidvania brainstorm again. Plugs at C. This is my nightmare. Here's some of the first ideas for Dino's Spike game. Here's when I thought I could make 7 games in 6 months on Steam. Yeah, here's like, what even is all this? It's a mess, but it helped me think it out. Oh, I love this one. Plugs McGee. We see a big image of plugs on the left and then a bunch of maps on the right. Now, I really like this weekly notebook. It sort of bridges that gap between coming up with ideas and then assigning things to a day. And so it's nice to be able to say, hey, on this day we should try to do this task, but it doesn't have much room to fill in. And then at the very back, there's a bunch of empty pages, so you can kind of fill in whatever you want. Yeah, and I mentioned that last year I did 2 of these notebooks, and so Dungeon 23 was like, let's fill in for each week. We'll do a room, and so each week will be like a small dungeon, and then at the end we'll have a bunch of mega dungeons. It's a whole thing. Yeah, and then these journals. So I've done these journals for forever. I really like it. I recommend it. It's just a place to write. You can draw or you can share your things. I filled in a lot of these. There's too many. And one of the big lessons from all these is like, it's just full of words. You can't even access it. It's really nice when they're like images. It's better to draw things. So I do think journaling with words on your own is worth it, and you should do that. It's just that when you're revisiting things, trying to get ideas out of something, a drawing is worth way more. It's just a lot easier to sort of come back and access a thing by getting a glance of it instead of trying to decipher whatever. You know, if your handwriting is as bad as mine, it might take forever to figure out what you wrote, you know. Although here's a nice little picture of Nose. I probably haven't shared much about Nose the Future on this channel yet, but maybe we'll see a Nose the Future game at some point. Yeah, I also really love doodling out images. Like, the point of these journals is that there's no real structure that's required. You can kind of do whatever you want, and that's like something to be encouraged. Go crazy. Yeah, look at this. So I loved ending these notebooks for a while. You know, you always want to like make sure you have one with enough pages going forward before a big trip. You know, you can't run out of pages while you're on a trip. You gotta end it early. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing with all these now. There's just so many, and every time I try to pick one up, it's pretty inaccessible, these walls of text. So I've jammed them pretty much into the cabinet by now. Now for some of the alt journals that I have. This one I call my Bilbo Baggins notebook because whenever I write in it, I pretend like I'm Bilbo Baggins writing some insane tale for my child or whatever. I really like all the ceremony with this one. It's like in a bag, and then it has this weird cord wrapped around it, and then when you get that off, there's like another notebook inside it. So this is a written notebook that's attached to a drawing notebook, and so I have this rule about the drawing one where you're not supposed to really write words in there. You're supposed to draw things. But pretty much every time I open this up, I continue the story. Regardless, you know, maybe I remember where it was, maybe not, but I write one page and then I draw something that goes along with whatever I wrote. So at some point this will be a continuous book, but good luck to anybody who finds it. Then we've got this magnetic notebook that my sister got me. It has a big magnet in the spine, and the pages have like a little bit of metal on them, so you can like take them off and put them back in any order. I've slowly been writing more and more on this thing, but it's kind of hard to figure out what to do with it. So yeah, it sticks to things if you put it on the right way, but yeah, that's kind of nice. Maybe if you don't have a place to put it, stick it to your desk. Then we've got these 5-year journals where you can fill in a little bit per day. And so I'm about 2 years into these now and just filling them in. You don't hit it every day, but it's a fun little thing. So there's a bunch about notebooks. I encourage you to do it however you would like. It's a very personal thing, so get out there. Don't be afraid to draw some stuff. And yeah, good luck in the future, game devs. Thanks for stopping by.